Oh man, do I wish I had a time machine to go back about 5 years and stop all the stupid mistakes I made in sports card collecting. I think all of us want one of those. I want to give you guys some lessons that I've learned the hard way. I learned a few big lessons early on. I'm still making mistakes too. I made kind of a big mistake in the last 12 months that I think a lot of you might make as well. I'm going to warn you about that. I'm also going to get into some, just like, I don't know, 5 or 6 tips on, like, I've kind of distilled down the dumb things I've done. And I'm going to tell you like the 5 dumb things I've done. And I think they should be actionable so that you guys can actually not make these dumb mistakes. So when I first got started, I got started way back in the 80s. I had a fifth grade teacher who taught us how to send mail to players and get things autographed, and that was awesome. I was into all the overpriced junk wax, and in the 90s the dream team really got me into basketball. I still have some of those packs, and I have like a nice binder that of course stops right before 97 metal. It's like, come on, where are the PMGs? And then I'm in college and it lapses, and I come back in probably 2018 because I'm getting big into the Celtics again. I'm a Celtics season ticket holder, and I'm just kind of like, wow, sports cards, okay. And I'm like, I'll grab a Jaylen Brown rookie, I'll grab Jason Tatum rookie, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, sticker autos, on card autos. I don't even know what Panini's like a sandwich at that point. I'm like, what the hell is Panini? Who are they? What is going on? I just didn't know anything, and I just focused on my team. And then I'm like, well, LeBron's pretty good. I need a Topps Chrome rookie from his year. No idea. I don't know about refractors and superfractors, any of that stuff. I don't know about rainbows. And the result was a very, very costly, scattered approach to buying things that I do not recommend doing. I was like Willy Wonka. I was in the chocolate factory. I'm like, I want that candy and I want that candy. I grabbed like the Shaq rookie, the 2 variations, because I love that card. I remember sending the card away and getting that in the mail. I thought it was so cool from them at the time. And gosh, I was like, KD's a pretty good player, and it was a mess. I probably spent like 30 grand on just random stuff. And then I started to realize, like, what am I doing? And I started looking at the vintage world more, and like the MJ rookies and basketball. I'm mostly a hoops guy, and one thing kicked it off for me. I was getting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar before people knew about this to sign his full name on the rookie card. It was a nice little arbitrage I had with his foundation. You had to pay extra, and people didn't really know about it, so you could get a premium at the time. It was awesome. And I traded one of them. This is the first lesson. Somebody on eBay is like, "Hey, dude, you want to do a trade on this card?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a great idea." So he trades me a PSA 7 Jordan rookie for this probably $4,000 card at the time, depending on the grade. I can't remember what it was. And I sent the label looked wonky, so I sent the Jordan in, and PSA, they killed it, and I was like, crap, that's a $4,000 mistake. That stings. The guy made good. He didn't know, so he sent me really the best asset he had, which was a box of 1986 Fleer cards, raw, sans the Jordan. And I thought to myself, what if I actually focused for once in my ADD life and tried to get these all autographed? And I knew nothing. I was not even on Instagram. I think I formed it when I got like the 5th card, and I had 2 followers or whatever. So I did the natural thing. I'm like 1986 Fleer autographs, and I Google it, and I end up on like Blowout forums and scn.net and like a lot of random stuff. And I start talking to these people because they leave their like their AOL.com email addresses and phone numbers, and I start networking. Then I find an 86 Fleer Facebook group, and it's off to the races. I spent 4 months focusing on this asset. I probably spent, if you count selling duplicates, I've probably spent, 20 grand to 40 grand on that set with the private signings and all that. And one sold for $500,000 last year. So I took that $4,000 mistake. I focused, and I'm not selling it. It's going to my son. We're going to improve it all the time, like, cracking out 9s, getting him signed. And I expect when and if he ever wants to sell it or something like that, hopefully when I'm gone, it'll probably sell for more than $1 million, because I don't think like more than 25 of those can exist. But that's my first lesson, to focus. So if I could redo the whole thing, I would focus on one set or one category. It doesn't have to be 86 Fleer. Could be anything, really. I mean, some of the stuff is costly if you want to go 33 Gaudy or 52 Tops or 51 Bowman. But you could also do Skybox Prototype, which is another set I'm doing. Not the Junk Wax Skybox, the prototype sets they sent to dealers where there's only 3,000 or 4,000 cards of. I'm trying to get that whole set signed. That's Focus. Focus on anything. WNBA autographs. Pokemon, that's another redo. My goodness. My son loves Pokemon. I grew up with it with my sister, and I remember playing it on Super Nintendo. Nintendo 64 in the late 90s. And I decided earlier last year, about a year ago today, to get into the first edition Shadowless. You're not allowed to say both, which is kind of funny, even though the main champ is both. Come on. So I decided to get into that and focus on PSA 9 and 10 Shadowless set. Again, focus. And I moved pretty fast. Like I got the Charizard as like the second card because I did not want to mess around. That I knew that was going to go up. Everything is doubled now. That's the long story short. And I'm pissed. Once I had conviction and I had the capital, I just kind of slow rolled it, which wasn't great. But another lesson there was diversifying a little bit. And another thing that I did over the last 12 months that was really stupid was I thought I would build a second 86 Fleer autograph set. And holy crap, the prices have gone up. More players have died. The difficulty level has gone up. I got to within 15 cards, and then I was like, this sucks. I'm not going to deal with paying 10 grand a piece for these last cards because the prices are not dropping on the dead guys. And I just wasn't in the mood. So I consolidated it and liquidated it and sold about 100 cards. Thankfully, I didn't have to use eBay too much. I used Instagram for about 90% of it, which was this led me to another lesson about friction costs. In the beginning, because I was so scatterbrained, I was buying and selling, and you don't realize the fees really add up. It's like a bunch of razor blades hitting you. 15% here, 20% there. I sold something on Goldin, it's 20%. Sell it on eBay, it's 13%. Shipping, taxes, insurance. And if you're quite active buying and selling, you have to factor like a 10 to 15% margin into those comps that you're looking at. So I would say the lesson here is to avoid velocity. No constant buying and selling unless you are a true dealer. You're good at what you do. You can comp things well, like Rob at Burbank. I'm sure he can crank. He knows the margin and he gets what he gets. But if you're not doing that and you're just kind of messing around at car shows, the buying and selling is going to sneak up on you. All right, besides narrowing aggressively, I'm going to say buying boring and not loud has been the best thing for me. I'll go to a card show. I'll give you an example. I was at the Shriner show a couple years ago. There was a raw 1961 Fleer Bob Cousy card. And I don't know, I paid a couple $100 for it. I looked at it and it looked like maybe PSA will miscut that thing. But I thought it's got a pretty good chance at a grade. I knew for about one more month you could donate to the Boys and Girls Club. Shout out to Bob Cousy. He is a legendary supporter of that program. If you write a check to his house, at his house, he does not personalize it. So if you don't, you just send it to him. He'll sign the card and he'll say to Nick or whatever. If you send that, he'll even sign Hall of Fame. So I sent that card to him. I think it was like a $200 donation, something like that. $200 card. This is a very quiet, boring card. This is not Wemby. This is not Cooper Flagg. Okay. So I'm 200 in, 200 to Bob's charity. I go to PSA to grade the thing, $25-$50. It comes back. I think it was a 6.9. Which I think I sold for $3,000. Because I had another, part of the lesson, again, if I could redo, earlier last year with the second set, I just had a bunch of stuff, like extra stuff I didn't want. That was just a card I didn't want. And also cards that I was up like 400% on. I just didn't want to be a pig. And I was good. So I sold it for like $3,000. So I made like $2,500 off of that card. That was very quiet, very boring. Nobody's banging down, Instagram about Bob Cousy rookie, not even a rookie, Bob Cousy 1961 Fleer cards. It's just not happening yet. I made $2,100 clear off of that transaction. which worked out great. And there's a lot of things like autographs in general are a great way to add value and arbitrage things. You find a decent card, whether you crack it or you find it raw at a card show. If you know that you can get that card signed and inscribed Hall of Fame, you're going to like double the value of that thing in most cases, especially if it's like a tricky signer and you know like a secret thing like I do. And boy, oh boy, if you guys want to get 86 Fleer stuff signed, I know about 1,000 secrets to all the living players. I have a lot of connections with living players. Jay Vincent is one. If you guys need something signed by Jay Vincent, let me know. Steve Johnson, I have a close relationship with him. His picture's not even on the damn card. I can get that signed. Just ask me how. I am like a hoops autograph guy, but that is my lesson there is go boring instead of loud. Piggybacking my consolidation that I did early this year and the focus thing, it's just pay for quality and not volume. I find that collectors that have fewer cards and higher standards do really well. There's one guy, he's a baseball guy. He has a spreadsheet. It's got a top 25, and at all times, he's updating that top 25. If it's not in the top 25, he sells it. He gets rid of the card. That's brilliant. I have more than 25 cards. I don't think I could hold myself to that guillotine, but that's pretty damn impressive. And I bet you he is laser focused, maybe upgrades from a 7 to an 8 on a Jackie or something like that. But this tends to be a scattered, volume-based approach most times. All right, last thing I'm going to close down with, and this goes out to all influencers and everybody everywhere, everybody that's public collecting. You got to be okay looking wrong. I think we all need to do better about our bloopers. We're all like, oh, check out this card, check out this flip I did, like the 101 I did at Chicago last year. But I'm never like, hey, check out this Kareem that I totally like traded on eBay and got boned. I think we need like a blooper reel. Matter of fact, if you guys want to run one, throw it in the comments, send an email at thebostoncardhunter.com. I will put together a blooper reel. Just be like, I paid $1,000 for this card. Now it's worth $5. It would be hilarious. I think we all need to do a better job about looking wrong, not needing public agreement, and just showing like when we make a bad decision or mess up. And I think that is a good lesson for all of us. A little humility, and shows we're human. And it's a lesson to new collectors that like, hey, even those experts like me, I went nuts with that second set and it was a mistake. We still make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's cool. That's what's different about collecting. It's not a car race where you finish first, second, or third. Everybody feels differently about what they collect. There's no winner. Well, Marshall Fogel's the winner. He has the best card, the PSA 10. But besides that, there's no winners here. There's no race here. It's just kind of like you could be a Kobe guy and think MJ's trash, So we all need to be kind of funnier about the mess ups that we have. Thanks, everyone.